Hey there! Today we are diving into the world of ancient Mesoamerica. Have you ever wondered why some great civilizations just disappeared out of nowhere? It's like one moment they're building incredible things, and the next, they're gone. It's a true mystery, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's these unknowns that make history so fascinating. Imagine all those stories from the Olmecs, who were like the main influencers of their time, to the Spanish who came later and changed everything. I'm eager to reveal these secrets and see how these ancient stories connect over time.
The thought of whole civilizations vanishing without a trace is puzzling. Even with all the studies, there's nothing quite like diving into the past to seek answers. What happened to these people? Did they move, change, or did something even more mysterious happen? The more we dig, the more questions we have.
Yes, and in our journey today, we'll explore the stories of rise and fall from the Olmecs and how they paved the way for the Maya, their architectural wonders, and finally, the Grand Aztecs. It's a saga of survival, adaptability, and in the end, transformation. Are you ready to uncover these captivating mysteries with us?
All right, let's jump into Chapter 2. Southern Mexico was a pretty good place to start a civilization. Why? Well, it was full of natural wonders. There were lush rivers and lots of resources. It was also warm and had a pretty stable climate. Imagine arriving in a place like this. It was almost like it was made for starting a new life. You had access to water, a stable food source, and plenty of people ready to build something grand.
Absolutely. The Olmecs were one of the first great civilizations there. They are often called the mother civilization because they set an example for others. They had everything they needed at their fingertips, so they started to create a community. From there, they began to trade and share their culture with nearby communities. It was like they were laying a foundation not just for themselves but for the future of the region. Pretty clever, right?
Definitely. But then something strange happened. The Olmecs suddenly faded away. It's like they were there one moment, and then they just weren't. Some people think it might have been because their rivers got filled with silt, making them hard to use. Others believe that they spread so much knowledge that others picked up the torch. Whatever happened, the Olmecs were no longer the main force, but they left their mark.
And after the Olmecs, the Maya came into the picture. They took the resources and ideas that the Olmecs left behind and expanded upon them. The climate was still good, and resources like limestone gave them new opportunities. Limestone was particularly useful because it helped them build strong structures and clean water. The Maya were ready to create something truly remarkable on the foundation the Olmecs had left behind.
In Chapter 3, let's explore the rise of the Maya. They started in the Guatemalan highlands and moved into the Yucatan. This was a smart move because the Yucatan had limestone, which was very useful. The Maya used limestone to build strong cities and clean water from underground. This made it easier for them to live and grow. By using these local resources, they were able to create a special place for themselves.
Their climb to greatness was marked by important places like Juyu. This city controlled much of the obsidian trade, and they spread their influence down into the Yucatan. Not only were they great traders, but the Maya were also pioneers in technology and science. They invented a complex calendar which helped organize their societies. City-states sprang up similar to those in Greece. All these advances helped the Maya thrive well in their time.
It was during the classical period that the Maya reached great heights of prosperity. But, as so often happens, problems arose. The Maya's success also led to conflicts. Tikal and Calakmul were two powerful cities, and their war greatly impacted the region. Each city wanted to be the main power, leading to battles over resources and control. These conflicts distracted them from other pressing issues, which is something we'll touch upon now.
And then, unexpectedly, the classical Maya period just came to an end. The cause of this mysterious collapse is still being debated by experts today. Some suggest that continuous wars might have drained their resources. Others think maybe a famine struck them hard. Or maybe it was a mix of factors coming from inside and outside. Whatever the real reason, the sudden end of Maya's prosperity remains one of history's great puzzles, leaving us all wondering what really happened.
We've traveled through the Maya, and now, let's explore another giant of the past, Teotihuacan. This city was not just large, it was a powerhouse. Imagine a place bustling with people, rich with trade, and towering pyramids. That's Teotihuacan. Yet, even today, we don't know who built it or why it suddenly fell. It's like a great book with its last chapter missing.
Indeed, Teotihuacan's power reached far and wide. Its influence touched places like the Maya city of Tikal. Picture this, a new dynasty in Tikal, thanks to Teotihuacan's sway. But with great power often comes great jealousy. These dynamics made the region unstable, sparking rivalries between cities. It's fascinating to see how one city's rise can ripple through history.
Right. And how did such a grand city like Teotihuacan end? We have clues, but no solid answers. Some say internal fighting weakened them, while others suggest it was environmental troubles. When we compare this with the sudden collapse of the Maya, it makes you wonder what really led both to such mysterious ends. Was it just bad luck or a larger issue?
Those are the big questions historians are trying to crack. The influence of Teotihuacan didn't just vanish. It shaped future civilizations. As Teotihuacan faded, the Toltecs began to emerge. They carried pieces of this mighty city's culture, yet with their own twist. This transition is like watching a new chapter in history unfold, showing us how interconnected every piece truly is.
Now, let's dive into the Aztecs. Unlike places we've talked about before, the Aztecs came into the picture quite late. They started as a group of 3 cities in the heart of Mexico. This was known as the Triple Alliance, with Tenochtitlan as the most important city. It's amazing how these cities grew so strong and created what we know as the Aztec Empire.
Exactly. The Aztecs spread quickly across Mesoamerica. One of their unique practices was human sacrifice, which helped them gain favor from their gods. They believed that the gods would bless them in return. This practice also kept them powerful and feared by their neighbors. Imagine living in a time when your empire grows bigger because of faith and force. It must have been both fascinating and frightening.
The Aztec stories are full of myths and prophecies. There is one about an eagle with a snake sitting on a cactus, which guided them to where they built Tenochtitlan. Their way of resisting enemies was clever too. They positioned their city on an island, which made it hard to invade. They also had clever ways of acquiring resources from conquered lands, ensuring they stayed strong.
Their influence was so strong that they left a lasting mark on Mexican culture and identity. Even today, the Aztecs are remembered for their strength and resilience. It's incredible to think of how their empire was the last great power before the Spanish arrived. This sets the stage for our next story about the Spanish conquest and how they changed everything. The Spanish had their sights set on the wealth and lands of the Aztec Empire.
As we step forward, let's look into the Spanish conquest. It was a time of great change for many in Mesoamerica. The Spanish came with big dreams, mostly of gold and glory. Hernán Cortés was a key figure. He was clever, knowing how to win allies who were not happy with the Aztecs. His plan was to use these alliances to bring down the powerful Aztec Empire.
Yes, and the Spanish had a strategy that was quite smart. They knew the locals were divided, and they used this to their advantage. Cortés played on these divisions, making it easier to conquer large parts of the land. But it wasn't just about fighting. Diseases like smallpox brought by the Spanish caused a lot of problems. These diseases spread fast and were deadly, weakening many communities.
The impact of this conquest was huge, going beyond just politics. There was a big cultural exchange too. With the Spanish came new ideas, foods, and beliefs. Part of their rule was about spreading their religion, Catholicism. They also set up a strict social system. At the top were the Spanish, and lower down were the local people. This system controlled how people lived and worked.
It was a time of change for the civilizations that stayed. The arrival of the Spanish brought a lot of tension. The balance of power shifted, and this made life difficult for the people there. They started to see their lands and cultures slowly change. This new Spanish colony had its own struggles too, with different groups fighting to be in charge. It was a mix of cultures and a tough adjustment for everyone involved.
Let's jump straight into the heart of Mexico after the Spanish conquest. The changes were huge and affected everyone. Many social classes were formed, changing how people lived and worked day to day. At the top were the Spanish, while the native people found themselves lower down. A unique identity began to form, mixing Catholics and the mestizos, who were of both Spanish and native descent.
So true. And let's talk about something very symbolic. The Lady of Guadalupe. She became a beacon for many, representing a blend of the old and the new. This figure helped people connect deeply with Catholicism by linking it to something familiar. It wasn't just about worship, but bringing together diverse cultural ideas. A blend of old traditions and new beliefs even showed up in celebrations like the Day of the Dead.
Absolutely. The cultural blending in Mexico created something special. It wasn't just limited to beliefs. Music, food, and art were all influenced, creating a rich tapestry of culture. But it wasn't all peaceful. There was a struggle for independence brewing. Ideas from the Enlightenment started to seep in, and people began to question the old power structures. Revolutionary thoughts grew stronger, leading to a new push for freedom.
And the three guarantees were a big part of this push. It was a plan for unity, independence from Spain, and a Catholic nation. But post-independence came with its own challenges. Mexico faced a lot of instability. The new nation was trying to establish its place, and this was not easy. People were figuring out how to live side by side with so many changes, and the government had to deal with these growing pains.
We have traveled through time, unraveling the mysteries of ancient Mesoamerica to the deep impacts of colonization. We started our journey with the Olmecs and saw how each civilization contributed to the rich heritage of present-day Mexico. It's amazing to see how the past shapes the future, leading to the Mexico we know today, with its unique blend of history and culture. Reflecting on this, it's clear that the journey of evolution never truly ends.
Absolutely. There's so much more to discover about Mexico's past and how it influences the present. We encourage you to dive deeper and explore more about this fascinating history. If you enjoyed our exploration today, please like and share this episode. Your support helps us reach more curious minds. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories and mysteries from history. Stay curious, and we hope to see you in our next journey.